do is, in your assignment notebook, open your assignment notebook and you gotta write an important date down. Okay? Write it down. You're gonna write it down in your assignment notebook in the math section. When is it going to test? Bear with me. If you let me speak, I promise I'll answer all your concerns. What I want you to write down in the math section today is that you have your chapter 1 math test on September 23. That's next Wednesday. September 23. So today is the 15th. About a week from now, we will be ready to take the very first test in our math book. Okay? All right. Once you have that in your assignment notebook, you can put your assignment notebook away. I wanted you to get that in there because that is important. You need to know this. You need to be ready for it. You should probably put that information in your assignment notebook every single day until the test is happening. Okay? How do you study for math tests? Well, you use your notes, the things that we have done in class. You would use the practice problems that we do in class. All of those things are helpful tools to prepare you for what the test is going to have. Okay? All right. The second item that we have to take care of is checking to make sure that you did your homework last night, which was workbook page 11 and 12. So I'm going to come around and check to make sure that everybody in here has completed their homework assignment. So all I want to see is that page 11 in your workbook and page 12 are completed. Don't put it away. We're going to go over it. We're going to check it. Okay? But be ready when I come around to flip so that I can make sure that you did it. This is a participation grade today. It was just for practice. So all I want to see is that you did your job. Okay? All right, let me see. Flip to the second side. Beautiful. Wait, can I do this? You can, but you don't have to. Good. Let me see this side. Perfect. Great. Good. Good. Be ready for me. Addison. Good, good. Let me see the works. Perfect. Yes. Great. That's all you want, ready. Good job. You. Perfect. Last one. Nice work. Another point for you. So you all are now at 4 points. 15 points never earns you that class party. What we will do for a class party will be decided once that day arrives. So we don't have to worry about it right now. So those of you that are concerned, Miss Priest has her own numbers. I have my numbers. So you will have whatever party you have for her. When her numbers reach whatever number she wants, and then you'll have it for me when you reach 15. Okay? And so one easy way to earn those points is by simply just doing your homework, which all of you did. So good job, pat on the back. You might be wondering about your math quiz. I do have them. They are graded. Most of you did amazing. But unfortunately, I have to put the score still into the computer, and I haven't had a chance to do that yet. So I can't give them back to you today. I know. So, but I definitely will have them ready for you tomorrow. But just know, if you want to check your grade here a little bit later, like after school, give me some time to kind of, but maybe this evening, you can go on your Signal and you can check your math grade. You can see what you got that way too. Okay, so, all right, let's check to see your answers and how you did on this. How many of you felt like lesson 5 was an easy lesson? You shouldn't even have it. Good. Glad to hear it. This was a rather simple lesson. All right, so let's check to see. I'm just going to give you the answers because we've got a new lesson we got to take care of today. So we got to kind of hustle through this one. All right, number 1, the answer should be, you're missing 2 things. Should be a 27, and then it should be the commutative property. Number 2 should be an 8. This should be the associative property. And then number 3 should be 945, and it should be the identity property. So far, so good? Excellent. Let's move on to number 4 and 5. For these, you just simply had to circle the answer to that problem above. So for number 4, it should be 655. And for number 5, it should be 0. All right, for number 6 through 14, you had to list the add-in that's missing, which is basically just a fancy name for number, right? So for number 6, you should have had a 3. For number 7, it should be a 6. For number 8, should be a 6. For number 9, should be a 7. For number 10, should be a 28. For 11, it should be a 0. For number 12, it should be a 15. For number 13, it should be a 6. And for number 14, it should be a 12. Okay, flip to the back. Just a couple of more practices on this. This was where you had to group them because there were so many different possible answers on here. I'm not going to really go through like what the answers are for numbers 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So just look at your own answers, be your own judge. If you put parentheses around different groups of numbers, you did these correctly. So I'll give you an example. Like for number 1, here's what were your options for answers. You could have had 3 plus 7 in parentheses with the plus 9 on the outside. Or you could have had 7 plus 9 in parentheses with the plus 3 on the outside. Or the last option was you could have had 9 plus 3 in parentheses with 7 on the outside. Okay? So as long as you have all the right digits and you group them, you're good. Good on that? All right. For number 5, you simply had to look at question number 4, and you had to say which way you like it best to group and why. So rather than saying what all of our answers are, there were so many different options. Just as long as you kind of explain to me that I would choose to group it this way because blah, 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 you're good. Okay. Number 6, your answer should be 367. And for number 7, your answer should be 763. And the last one that you had to do was number 8. And there were so many different options for answers for this one also. So rather than you read me or people say, could I have put this? The most important thing you needed to have in that answer was you had to say that she swam 38 laps on Monday. That was what I needed. All right, so how do you feel on lesson 5? Excellent. So lesson 5 will be on your test, along with lessons 1 and 2 and 3. 4 we skipped, but it's the word problem stuff, and we do word problems all the time in homework, so it's not really like that was new stuff. So there might be like 1 or 2 word problems. And then today we're going to do lesson 6, and then I think there's only one more lesson after that. And then it's time to start preparing for this test. This one is oh, I noticed that too. Okay, you can put your workbook away. We're done with that. So that last thing you need is put your notebook. Some of you look so sleepy. I hope I don't lose you today because this is kind of an important lesson. Let's do 10 jumping. Let's do this for fun. How about today? Let's sit on our desks. Okay. Okay. This is the new book. Don't ruin it for everybody because you're trying to do things. You still need your notebooks. Don't ruin it for everybody. Okay. Can you get up there? You've done it in Miss Readers. Okay. You still need your attention facing the front of the room. Hopefully, you getting a new position might hopefully bring you back to life. Some of you look like you were fading away. Okay. All right. So we're getting ready to learn something new. So let's title today Chapter 1, Lesson 6. Why is it important that we keep this stuff organized? Let me see. Are you sure? I'm gonna take you for a ride. Ready? Now I know. Okay.
That was good fun.
All right. Why is it important to keep things organized, Addison?
Because when you go back to look at your next person, or say it's messy with the kid, you're like,
Bingo.
what the heck was I thinking?
Right. It's so important. So I would say don't waste paper. If the last time you took notes you like stopped in the middle of a page, just draw a line to kind of show that you stopped there. And then let's start today's lesson here. I don't want to have to take away the fun opportunity because I have people trying to do things that are not. You can sit in your chairs, you can sit on top. Stand on top is not an option. Lay on top is not an option. So if we're given these options, let's not try to push it. Okay? All right. The next thing you're going to need is the title because today's lesson does actually have a title, and it's called Estimate, Sums, and Differences. Anybody in here tell me what the word estimate means? Or estimate? Estimate. What's it mean, Brandon? Could be. Could be. Yeah. What's another way we could describe it? James?
You like guessing the answer to an addition or subtraction.
Okay, just a real random guess?
No, an educated guess.
Okay. Okay. In the science world, what kind of a word would we call that? Something that is an educated guess.
Hypothesis.
We call hypothesis, right? Okay. So yes, an estimation is kind of a brain set. It's a little bit of a rounding, but it's also a way to kind of come up with an answer that we can maybe do inside of our heads. We want to get to the point in math land that we don't have to always have a piece of paper or a calculator to come up with an answer. Why, where in real life would we ever have to estimate? If I'm going to teach you stuff that's important for your future, how will estimate be important for your future? How do you think?
Maybe you're a banker.
Okay, okay. So maybe you're in the banking world, and maybe you're playing with numbers there. And so maybe you have to do so much with so many numbers, you want to estimate something. Could be, but what if I'm not a banker? We're all going to have to know how to estimate. So we're trying to figure out ways. Yes?
When you're dealing with very, very big numbers that don't need to be exact.
Could be, but I may not ever deal with very, very, very big numbers. I'm trying to think of a real event in a real life that would cause me to have to estimate. Lily?
When you have to pay for your house.
Okay. That's a good guess. That would be when you would have to kind of use numbers. She said like using numbers to have to pay for your home. You would use them, but you're probably not going to estimate. You're probably going to pay exactly what the bank tells you to pay, or else you might get in trouble by the bank. What do you think?
Well, I already experienced this somewhat with my friends from the neighborhood that are like this little store really close. And sometimes your friends like, you know what, how much tax is? So we just add that to our original price. And we just kind of estimate, so whenever they calculate how much maybe more or less.
Okay, beautiful. I love that example. Hands down for a minute. Let's go with that one. So she's given an example of maybe you're going shopping. Maybe you're with a friend and you got to go to the mall. Because one day you will become a teenager and you will get a little older where your parents will allow you to do things without them. So let's say that they let you go to the mall. And while you're there, they give you $30, right? And they say you can take these $30 and you can go buy yourself something at the mall. Okay? So the last time we kind of gave an example like this, I think we used a boy store. We talked about this. How about today we use a girl store? So give me a store that you would maybe go to in the mall.
Bath and Body Works.
Bath and Body Works. Okay. So we're going to Bath and Body Works. And let's say inside Bath and Body Works, you find this gift set that's got lotion and bath bombs and hand sanitizer and shower gel and body spray and a candle. Okay. It's got all this real fun, exciting stuff, and you want to buy it. So you look at the ticket, and the ticket has a price on it that says $28.99. Can you buy it? Can you raise your hand if you say yes, you can buy it? Remember, Mom gave you $30. The ticket says it's $28.99. Can you buy this? Hand up if you say yes. Hand up if you say no. Ooh, we're split right down the middle. Why do you say no? Why do you say no, Mason? That is right. So that's a thing that tricky and sneaks up behind you that you aren't prepared for. The state of Kentucky has something called sales tax. Every single time you buy something, the state of Kentucky charges you 6 cents for every dollar that you spend. So when you walk up to that cash register to buy that gift set, they're going to say, okay, your gift set is about how much? What's $28.99? If I'm going to estimate that, that's about how many dollars? How many?
25.
Way far away.
No.
$28.99. What's the closest dollar to that? $29. So that's the closest dollar. So I'm going to say, okay, this is about $29. I have $30 in my pocket. I got enough money. Well, no, because you live in Kentucky. And so when you go up to buy it, they tell you, no, you owe us some money for taxes. And tax how much? Well, for every dollar that you spend, the state charges you 6 cents. Now, why would they do that to you? Why would the state of Kentucky take your money from you? Xander, what do you think?
They can pay for other things that needs to be done in the state.
Beautiful. They use it to pay for things the state needs. And that could be lots of different things. It could be our bridges, it could be our roads, it could be, to build buildings that we might need to help repair things. So that's what they use that money for. So if we didn't have that sales tax, we wouldn't be able to have some of these things that we repair. So now, do you have enough money? No. Because your total is probably going to be over $30. So in real life, do you have to know how to estimate? Yes. You might go to the grocery store and you might want to buy some things at the grocery store. You probably at the grocery store aren't going to whip out your calculator and start typing in how much things cost. So instead, you're going to estimate. You're going to say, okay, this is about $4. This is about $5. Do I have enough? So, that's what you got to figure out. So this is a life skill. Okay? This is not something I'm teaching you for a test. This is something I'm teaching you so that you have it forever. I hope everybody is paying attention. Okay? So, we're going to actually watch a video to help us learn this because there is such an easy way to do this. And this video is going to make it seem simple. Okay? So, did everybody get the definition of front-end estimation? If not, take a minute because you do need to know what that means. Whenever you have front-end estimation, it means you're going to use the numbers at the front to round and estimate the answer. What they say. Yeah. Just sit down on the ground so people behind can see. Now you don't need all the other stuff, so please don't copy all the other highlighted green. You don't even need the example because the video is going to help us with examples. All I want you to have is what that word means. So that when you're taking a test and it says use front-end estimation to solve, you won't raise your hand and go, what does this mean? You're going to now know what it means. You know you've done that. It means you're going to use the numbers at the front to help you estimate your answer. Now here's what's going to happen here in a minute. We're probably going to have to take a pause because our Google Meet is at 2 o'clock that we get to kind of meet with Carson every day. But I don't want to take up all of our class time because we won't get through today's lesson if we do. So we're just going to kind of pop into Carson, kind of see where he's at, see how things are going, talk to him about things that are coming up. If any of you specifically want to say something to him, and that means like not walk up to the computer and just stare at the computer and say hi. Okay, that's not enough. Like you might want to say something to him, you might want to talk to him. If you do, then I'll give you that opportunity too. But if he doesn't have any questions and we don't really have any other concerns, we'll probably end our Google Meet a little quick so we can get back to our lesson. Okay? Does everybody have this definition? What?
Can we start our desk like?
Sure. Can you sit on your desk now?
When we go to the
Yeah. Okay. Does this sound like this is going to be something hard or easy?
easy.
And actually, the term makes it sound scarier than what it is. But if you kind of break it down, if you ever have a big word and you're trying to figure out its meaning, just break it into smaller words. Like front means beginning. So I'm going to look at the number at the beginning to help me to round this thing. Okay? All right. So we've got about 2 minutes. So while we are waiting, let's go ahead and kind of jumpstart our video. Okay? All right. So let's check out front end estimation.
Hi there, this video is going to go over a couple examples of how to do front-end estimation for sums and differences. Now this method doesn't involve rounding, and it's used specifically when you have the same number of digits in each number.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there a second real quick because what she just said is important. And sometimes on these videos they talk so quickly that you didn't catch it. So she said, this is going to be easiest when you have the same number of digits on both sides. So like this number has how many digits, everybody? 5. On the opposite side, how many digits are there? 5. So it's going to be easiest when there's the same amount of digits on both sides, but it won't always be that way. It doesn't make it harder. It just means that you might have to do one extra step if the number of digits don't match up. Okay? All right, here we go. Let's keep on playing.
Look at this example. If I look at the 10,000 digits, I have a 4 and a 1. So I'm going to just add 40,000 and 10,000.
Okay, what in the world, why did she do that? So, what she did, remember, front-end estimation says go to the number at the front. The number at the front of each of these, for this one is a 4. For that one, it's a 1, right? So, if I have that 4, somebody tell me what place is that 4 sitting in? Emily, I don't feel like I have your attention. So, you have to change that or you got to get back in the chair. All right, the 4 sitting in what place? What place, Shane, is 4 sitting in? The 10,000s place. If I have 4 10,000, Shane, how much do I have? 40,000. That's where that 40,000 came from. Do you see how the stuff that we've already learned is now creeping back up into the stuff that we're doing now? Yeah. You've got to know place value. You've got to know what a number is worth. Move over to the other side. The number in the front is a 1. It's also in the 10,000s place. If I have 1 10,000, how many does that make? 10,000. So all she did then was add her 40,000 and her 10,000, and she came up with 50,000. Do you remember when I told you playing with zero makes things much easier? See how much easier it was to add when you had those zeros versus adding 42,921 plus 18,416. Could you do this in your head? No way. Could you do this in your head? Yes. All right, so let's see. This isn't where she stops. She's got a little more to do.
Notice that I just used the leading digit, the 4 and the 1, and I made all the other digits 0. So when I added 40,000 and 10,000, I get 50,000. Now we're going to make an adjustment so that I can get that a little more accurate. And the way that we do that is we look at the second digit. In this case, it would be a 2 and an 8. When I add the 2,000 and the 8,000, which is represented by these two digits, I get 10,000. So for
Okay, why did she do that? How come she didn't just stop at 50,000 and said this is her answer? Allie?
Because she's trying to add 42,921 and 18,416 together. And like, it can't just be like a plain number. There's also more numbers behind it.
Okay, that's one way of looking at it. There's more numbers. So if it was that easy, we would just add everything that way. But it's also because this. Do you ever been to a party and like your jar is filled with like all these M&Ms and it says guess how many are in the jar? And if you are closest to the right number, then you win the jar. Well, if you stopped at 50, you would have lost the game. Because you'd be too far away to the actual answer. Remember, estimation means we're supposed to get as close as we can to the real answer. And the real answer is nowhere near 50. So that means we gotta move to the second number. So then the second number, that 2, is now sitting in what place, Tessa?
1,000.
The thousands, and if I have 2 of them, I get a value of 2,000. Emily, in this one I have an 8. I get what? 8,000. So now I'm gonna put my 2,000 and my 8,000 together, and what am I gonna get? 10,000. Anybody wanna take a wild guess what she's gonna do next? What's she gonna do next?
She's gonna take.
What's she gonna do next, Colin?
She's gonna take the 900 or
Nope. She's not gonna put any more digits into her issue, because then it would make things too hard to do in the brain. What's she gonna do, Brayden?
she's gonna add 10,000 and 50,000.
Ding, 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 ding. She's gonna add those two totals together. And when she adds 50,000 plus 10,000, everybody, where's she gonna land?
60,000.
60,000. That's
my
stuff
final
you can
answer,
do in your
I'm
brain.
going to add the 50,000 and the 10,000. So you see my final answer then would be 50,000 plus 10,000, which is 60,000. Now
Okay,
let's take a look at the
Now,
subtraction problem.
we have to stop here because I gotta get to our Google Meet. So I'm gonna stop our recording for the moment.